we're gonna be simplifying a square, cube, and fourth root. Well, the way how it works is this way. Um, Look at the uh, square root. We say a square because the number outside is 2. We're just gonna state it, but usually we never write it. Okay, so you're gonna see this place is gonna be empty. The way how it works is this way. You must have a number to the second power. Okay, so in that way, this number 2 is gonna be dividing the exponent. So that's how you're gonna write 2 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is gonna be 1. Because the exponent is 1, you're never gonna write the exponent. Now, that is when you work with the square root. Okay, we must have a number to the second power. So in that way, the square root is gonna cancel the square by dividing the exponent. Okay, now cube root. Now, starting here, if we talk about this cube root, from now on, once we change from a square to cube root, maybe fourth root, then you're gonna see this number. And we're gonna say cube root, and the number inside has to be a number to the third power. In that way, this number 3 is gonna be dividing the exponent. So 3 divided by 3. 3 divided by 3, the answer is 1. Because the number is 1, we never gonna write the exponent. That's how the cube root is gonna cancel this number. Okay. Now, moving on to the fourth root. The number inside, if we are gonna cancel the fourth root with this exponent, is by dividing. And this number 4 is gonna be dividing the exponent. 4 divided by 4, the answer is 1. So that's how we're gonna cancel this. Okay, in general, that's how it works. Now, look at this number. This is the exponent that we wanna get is a number to the second power. This is a square root. To cancel, we must rewrite number 9, and number 9 has to be a number to the second power, and that is gonna be 3 squared. Okay, 3 times 3 is gonna be 9. And now this number 2 is gonna divide the exponent. Okay, so it's gonna be 2 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2, the answer is gonna be 3. Okay, and the exponent is gonna be 1 because the number is gonna be 1. We're never gonna write it. So in other words, a square root of 9, the answer is 3, and that means that the square root cancels the square. Okay, let's do another one also. Okay, this one is a square root of 16. We're gonna rewrite 16 as a number to the second power. Well, if that is the case, it's gonna be a product. 4 times 4, that'll be 16. That means that I can write 4 to the second power. Okay, the number outside is gonna be 2. And now to get the answer, all what we're gonna do is divide this number 2 is gonna be dividing the exponent. So then we're gonna write it this way: 2 divided by 2. Okay, 2 divided by 2, the answer is gonna be 1. Okay, because the exponent is gonna be 1, we're never gonna write it. Now we're gonna say a square root of 16, the answer is 4. Okay, and the reason is the square root is gonna cancel the square. And the way how it's gonna be canceled is because this number 2 is gonna divide the exponent. 2 divided by 2, the answer is 1. Okay, now look at the next one. Now it's cube root. The number inside, we should be able to write it as a number to the third power if we're gonna cancel. Okay, so now I know that 8, we can rewrite it as 2 to the third power. 2 times 2 is 4. times 2 is going to be 3. Okay. And now, because this is cube root, this number 3 is going to divide this number 3, right? So now, the way how this is going to cancel is because this number 3 is going to divide the exponent. So 3 divided by 3, 3 divided by 3, the answer is 1, okay? Because the exponent now is going to be 1, we're never going to write it. So the answer, cube root of 8, the answer is going to be 2. And that's because this cube root cancels the exponent by dividing it. 3 divided by 3, the answer is 1. Okay? So that's how it cancels. Now, one more time, this is going to be cube root. Okay? Cube root of 125. Well, what we're going to do is we need to be able to rewrite 125 by a number that is to the third power. And that number is going to be 5. 5 times 5 is going to be 25. Times 5, that should be 125. So in other words, this is going to be 5 to the third power, and this is going to be inside the cube root. Because now this is cube root, we should be able to simplify by finding a number that is going to be to the third power, and that number is going to be 5, and you can see it is going to be to the third power instead of writing it as 125. Well, now what we're going to do is to simplify this, this number 3 is going to divide the exponent. The exponent is 3 divided by 3. Okay? 3 divided by 3 is 1. So the exponent now is going to be 1, and this will be the answer. Remember, because the exponent is 1, we're never going to write it. So cube root of 125, the answer is going to be 5. Now, this number is going to be 4. That is what we call fourth root. And to simplify this, we should be able to rewrite 81 as a number to the fourth power. Well, I know that 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, and times 3 is going to be 81. So fourth root of 3 to the fourth power, and that is how we're going to be rewriting 81. Okay, and this number is now 3 to the fourth power. To simplify this, all what we're going to do is divide the exponent by 4. So we're going to write 4 divided by 4. Then the answer is going to be 1. Because the exponent turns into 1, we're never going to write it. Okay? Not all the time it's going to be this easy. Mostly all the time, they're going to try to rewrite it and give you a number that is going to be little bit more difficult. So far, I've been giving you examples where it's really clear how we're gonna be able to cancel either the square root, cube root, or the fourth root. But many times they're not gonna give you those numbers. Okay, many times you have to do some extra work. For that, we gotta be able to use the prime factorization, and that means we're gonna use prime numbers to get the answers. For example, numbers that are prime numbers are numbers that you can divide by itself or 1. Like number 2. You can divide only number 2 by itself and 1. If you divide it by 3, you're going to get decimal numbers. So that's not what you want. Same thing happens with number 3, right? You can divide it by 3 and 1. But if you divide it by 2, you're going to get decimal numbers. Same thing happens to 5, 7, and the list doesn't end. The next number should be 11, 13, 17. So it doesn't end. Anyway, I'm gonna find the prime factorization of number 64. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start dividing this by 2. If I divide it by 2, I'm gonna get 32. If I divide this by 2, I'm gonna get 16. If I divide this by 2, I'm gonna get 8. If I divide this by 2, I'm gonna get 4. And if I divide it by 2, the answer is 2. The idea is this. I need the prime factorization so that I can rewrite this number 64 as a number to the fourth power. And all what I'm doing, or what I'm gonna do is count 1, 2, 3, 4. That will be 2 to the fourth power. Okay, so I'm gonna write fourth root should be 2 to the fourth power times 2 squared. You see, these are the two numbers that are left over. So I'm gonna write 2 to the fourth power on second power, I mean. Now, if you are not able to divide it by this number 4, the exponent, then that number is going to stay inside the square root. So I need the space, so I'm going to have to erase all of this, so in that way I can write the answer. Okay. So now I'm going to start by dividing. You see how this number 4 divides 4? This number 2 is going to be outside the fourth root. But then can you see that this number 4 doesn't divide this exponent, right? Because it doesn't divide that exponent, this number 2 is going to stay inside the fourth root. Okay, remember, this number 4 is not dividing 2. So that one is going to stay. And remember, 2 squared is going to be 2 times 2, which is going to be 4. So this will be the answer. Many times that's what they're going to do with all these numbers. But I just wanted you to know how we're going to be able to simplify square roots, cube roots, fourth roots, and so on. Thank you.